same that we experiment in Paris, in London, in many other places. And that's why Sarah was interesting, because it's a way to be modern without being totally inventing from scratch. On the other side, there is a sort of desire to situate a project like this somewhere. No? You understand that Sesto is suspended in between the story of there is a fantastic movie made by Armando Olmi for the first Regeneration project around the theme of the working city and the hero of the industry city that were producing grandeur in a way. That is completely lost and not part of Sesto arriving to the site. There are the more occasional one that come from stories very complicated, with no sense, no meaning. And so it's interesting to find out a figurative method that is trying to situate things in time or with the ability to, you don't know where they are really. And they are trying to be more modern than the plan itself. I mean, if you look to the Foster plan, the reference to a city that is like the light of the stars coming from very far away, the culture. When I look to this, I really find out the freshness that some building in Milan is still proposing as modern. That's why all people now is looking to Milan, because there is a good balance, and not just the language. I'm sure that some Ceppo, Tile, and so on, they are not producing any Milanese building. There is another consistency. And then there is I don't know, something that I learn a lot from them, because the struggle between what is modern also about the form of the city and what we consider all the heroism of the invention of the new city and so on, it's still ongoing. We're not very sure. We can save part, we cannot save orthodoxy. And Milanese attitude, it's interesting because it's not orthodox. It's not being right, made by rule. It's made by combine a sort of, we can say, experimental attitude, and the exercise they made. Now it's very synthetic. Now you see a final result. Behind, we try to tell it a bit with the photograph. They struggle a lot because there's a sort of automatic answer that makes modernity made by some material. And you cannot be not modern, no? And there is a sort of desire to leave this order which is very safe. So, on the other hand, there is a theme of culture. The reference shared by this group of students, they were not the same. No? We have different playlists, we love different things, and in a way, it's been an exercise about selecting things and understanding which reference can be saved, if they are a photograph from Giri or an advertisement or a real architecture, and leaving the idea to repeat, but to understand logic instead of language again. And then I want to thank the student because they accepted also another condition that is part of this strange studio, because it's melting planning in urban design and architecture. You never know in the end who's who, which is interesting because you share also a cultural position, which is why this school some years ago was crucial in the world, because it was started by a cultural position taking, not a production problem, which is another story. And there is a collaboration that is trying not to mimic how the city is made, because our situation is making the city contemporary in 3 months by 2 offices. In this situation, enhancing the number of people and head and background, it's been the situation about saying that the city is a result of a dialogue And in a way, all teams, also the one married, accepting or not accepting some rule, not accepting reference and so on. It's been, I'm surprised, very mature, even more than the premises we did. And then there is the fast pace of the studio. You understand that there is a part that is an enormous labor, because you cannot do project without doing an enormous labor. That's how it is. Because they are trying, trial, error, and so on. There is this empirical condition. On the other hand, there is a fast intuition, which is a bit the sense of this operation. There are a lot of documents here, but they are the only one. I mean, probably you need a few things to define character, not a whole set of documents. And there is something that is contained in this fast intuition, doing things faster, but with a strong research about the meaning. Then the opportunity of these figures is to suggest something, not to propose a project as the only solution of things. Also surprised me a lot the comment about the pinky pavilion. It's interesting that by your side the only square meter that are not saleable, no, it's very useful. But for me, this opposition is exactly what is interesting. These projects are full of ideas that are indirectly giving back something to the development and so on, not in a direct way. It's not the square meter, but maybe it's demonstrating that the form of the character is maybe doing that. And it's a bit disappearing, something that we cannot represent. It's in this axonometry reverse, which is the presence of portico and general space to the seat in the ground floor. That is the main goal. And nothing more. And thank you very much for learning a lot this semester.
And we had a long sight on the project, so what Josh said before of seeing this project moving is also how the city is changing, so it was a very nice discussion. I want to thank again all the discussants, the invited guests and colleagues of DASTU. I want to thank again sincerely the Luca Galliccioli, Giancarlo Pandozzi and Guram Minauri. I don't see you anymore.